These are another 50 geography facts that everyone needs to know. Without any interruptions, let's just get right into it. If I'm gonna ask you what's the most populated country, you're obviously gonna say China. Well, you're actually gonna be correct, but only for like a week or so. India is actually probably the most populated country in the world. In 2022, it's the first year since 60 years that China lost population. They lost 850,000 people. That's surely a fact you didn't know. China, together with India, make 36% of the world's population, or more than a third of the world. That is huge. And if they lose 1 billion people, they are still gonna be the most populated countries in the world. The country with the most islands isn't Indonesia or Canada, but it's actually Sweden. That's right, Sweden has 221,000 islands. That's an island for every 46 Swedish people. The most populated city in the world is Tokyo, with 37 million people. That's a bigger population than Canada. But it's not the biggest city. The biggest city is located in China, and it's called Ulaanbaatar. It has a bigger area than the whole country of United Kingdom. Yes, you heard that right. Whew, let's take a break and please subscribe. Thank you. Believe it or not, there is a country which is situated on all 4 hemispheres. You're probably gonna think I'm crazy, but no, Kiribati has 33 islands and all of them combined are in 4 different hemispheres. Technically, that means Oceania is also on 4 different hemispheres. Brazil is larger than Australia, and it's so huge that its easternmost point is closer to Africa than its own westernmost point. That is insane. Well, you probably know the Great Wall of China, but you probably didn't know it has 21,000 square kilometers. And to put that into perspective, that's a flight from Reykjavik to Wellington. The most populated city by density is Dhaka in Bangladesh. Per kilometer square, there are 30,000 people. 30,000 people fit in one of these stadiums. According to some studies, Finland is the world's happiest country in the world, followed by Switzerland and Denmark. The reason is simple: no corruption and freedom. The most spoken language as a native language is not English, but is Chinese Mandarin. If you want to be safe, just go to Iceland. It is the safest country in the world, and it's because of its position and no crime rates at all. Okay guys, you spammed me in the last video that Greenland is not a country. It is an autonomous part of Denmark. Although it seems like it's a part of North America, it's actually technically located in Europe. Speaking of Greenland, between 25th of May and 25th of July, the sun in Greenland never goes down. And it actually looks like this. This is a very cool phenomenon. When going to the sea, you're probably complaining about the temperature of water, like, "Mom, it's so cold." Okay, if you want a hot sea, just go to the Persian Gulf. In summer, the temperature goes all the way to 36 Celsius. And well, if that's too hot for you, then I recommend going to the White Sea. The average temperature there is -2 Celsius. So yeah, the deepest point on Earth is the Mariana Trench, with an astonishing 11,000 meters deep, or equal to this graph. Check this out. And well, in there you can find creatures such as this, or this. Okay, this is terrifying. Oh yeah, and I think you saw it. Mount Everest can fit in the Mariana Trench. The fastest train in the world is called L0 Sirius Maglev. It has a speed record of 602 kilometers per hour, and it looks like this. Phew, that was insane. The westernmost, easternmost, and northernmost point of the USA is occupied by Alaska. Most of you guys will say that Canada has one land border with USA. And you would be incorrect. Actually, Canada has a land border with Denmark. It is located on the Hans Islands and is one of the shortest land borders in the world. It technically connects to Greenland, but Greenland is not a country, so that means it's connected to Denmark. What's the country with the most earthquakes? Japan. Japan is situated on 4 different tectonic plates, and they border each other, which causes a lot of earthquakes. So that's why Japan has a lot of anti-earthquake buildings to prevent hazardous occasions, like the Tohoku earthquake, for instance. It shouldn't come to surprise that tornadoes are the most common in the USA. Yearly, there is an average of 1,333 tornadoes. The biggest landlocked country in the world is Kazakhstan, which is pretty surprising. The country which has the most lakes is undoubtedly Canada. It has, listen carefully, 800,000 lakes. The wettest place on Earth is Maushimram in India, where there is an average annual rainfall of 11,000 millimeters. So that means out of 365 days, 267 days are rain days. While the snowiest place on Earth is in a Japan village, and it's called Aomori. There is an annual snowfall of more than 312 inches. And actually, right now as I'm speaking, it's snowing in there. Not a lot of people know this, but Egypt is actually located on two continents. North Africa, which everyone knows, and southwest corner of Asia. It's very visible in this photo. This fact will blow your mind. So we're used to thinking Greenland is a huge territory. Well, in reality, it's smaller than India. Because as I said in the first part, the Earth is smaller at poles and bigger at equator. And now, if we put Russia at the top, you can clearly see it's bigger than the whole continent of Antarctica. So yeah, that's pretty insane. Russia is also larger than the continent of North America and Europe. It's roughly the same size as South America, and it's 1/8 of the total landmass of the world. The most visited country is actually not USA, but is France, with around 90 million visitors yearly. Tourism brought $62 billion for France. The least visited country in the world is Tuvalu, and one of the least visited countries in Europe is Moldova, the country I live in. Yeah, and it's pretty rare seeing people here, like, from another country. But I still hear some people talk English, and I'm kinda surprised to see that we still have tourists. If you exclude microstates, then Bangladesh will be the most densely populated country in the world, with 1,265 people per kilometer square. That's more people than I have subscribers per kilometer square. Yeah, let's change that. If you look on the map, Australia and New Zealand might look close to each other, but in reality they are actually 2,500 miles away from each other. And that's the distance from London to Rabat, a city in Morocco. Talking about Australia, believe it or not, it actually has a wider diameter than the moon. Yes, you heard that right. The two islands between USA and Russia, which you can see in the image, are only 2.4 miles away from each other, but they have a 20-hour time zone difference. So when it's winter, you can walk from Russia to USA. But be careful, because you know what's happening there right now. Believe it or not, there is a city which has a population of 1 person. That's right, located in Nebraska, USA, it's called Monowi, and the only person living there is called Elsie Ailer. They also have a restaurant in there. The weakest currency in the world is Venezuelan Bolivar. $1 is equal to 1 million bolivars. And the strongest currency in the world is the Kuwaitini dinar. That is equal to $3.28. So if we put that against the Venezuelan Bolivar, you can clearly see the difference. So in the previous video, I said that Greenland, aka Denmark, is the northernmost country, but the northernmost city is actually located in Norway, aka Svalbard, and it's this city. I'm not gonna bother spelling it. Surprisingly, there are only 5 countries that have polar bears, those being Norway, Russia, Canada, Denmark, and the USA. You probably went outside to touch some grass and you saw some big trees, some large trees. Well, the tallest tree in the world is actually this tree, and it's longer than Big Ben and Statue of Liberty. And finally, fact 50. If you hate mosquitoes, go to Iceland. This is one of the few countries that doesn't have mosquitoes at all. And it's because of its low temperature, and it makes living for mosquitoes impossible. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. This video took 1 week to edit, but let's just say it was worth it. You guys really enjoyed the first part, so that's why I thought of doing a second part. But if you guys are really enjoying these videos, then make sure to subscribe. It truly means a lot, and we can get to 1,000 subscribers. And we can beat the density of Bangladesh. Thank you so much once again, and I will see you guys in the next video.